Hello everyone and welcome to my presentation for Mod 4. Um, Mod 4 dealt with the interview, the interviewee and the interviewer and how they interact, trust each other, get to know each other and how we felt about it. One of the statements in this article or book that I found very interesting is right here. It's time to stop threatening the interviewee as a clockwork, start treating the interviewee as a clockwork orange. That is, looking for better, juicier techniques to squeeze the juice or answers out of the orange. As it states down here, being a musician and an avid interview listener, I want to hear just what I need to hear. I'm not really looking for any kind of inside secret, any kind of gossip or anything. I watch a lot of how-to interviews on YouTube or listen to a lot of how-to YouTubes, basically how to build or fix up guitars. I'm not looking for their secrets. I'm looking for something that's really just going to help me out. I do understand why people would be looking for those secrets, maybe with an actor or a politician, but those I tend to shy away from. I'm not really into the personal story. I'm into more of what the interview would be about. For example, an interview about a new album from a band. I want to know what they put into it and what they feel comfortable saying. Sometimes that mystery adds to the interest of the interview. Second interesting comment was most structured interviews leave little room for the interviewer to improvise or exercise independent judgment. But even in the most structured interview situation, not every contingency can be anticipated and not every interviewer behaves according to the script. An example of this, or how I looked at it, was our interview that we watched for class. That was, to me, very scripted, very personal, and very professional. It worked both from the interviewer and the interviewee. I learned stuff about the interviewee that he willingly put out there. And as you see down here, I'm a bit mixed on this topic. As stated above, I listen for the enjoyment of learning. The Guitar Builder, again, I mentioned that. But I'm not listening for their secrets. I wasn't listening to see if Palmer had a secret to tell. I just want to hear what it is they need to say and answer the question truthfully. Sometimes an interview question does require a yes or a no. And there's no building upon that. And I have no qualms with that. And again, down here where it says, not to get political here, I have my views on my presidential candidate, who I'm going to vote for. And those interviews, the presidential type, I'm not a fan of. I will not watch them. I will not take what they say. I take what they say with a grain of salt. It comes down to the politician style. I would rather not watch it. What I know about them, that's the reason why I am voting for them. So there you go. That's my little political rant. And the last one, creative interviewing. Thus, interviewers must necessarily be creative, must forget how-to rules, and must adapt to the ever-changing situations they face. Now, again, that might seem contradictory to our first one, the empathetic interviewer, but here, this is more along the lines of, let's say, a music journalist interviewing a guitar builder. The music journalist probably did a little bit of research on how the guitars were built, and he'll try in a fun way to maybe get a little secret out. That's kind of cool, a little tidbit here and there. But if it's forced, where it's a scripted, forced question, like, for example, I want to find out what this secret is. That's not what I'm looking for. Here, I like when both sides are just talking about a common theme and each feels comfortable with each other. So it's almost as if we're the listener listening to a conversation, and we get information out of that conversation. And at the bottom there, again, I wrote, it seems in today's world, interviews can either promote or harm the interviewee and leave us, the listener, wondering. And I don't like walking away from it wondering. I like listening, gaining some information, and walking away saying, well, I learned this, I learned that, and the interviewer did his job, the interviewee did his job, and I did my part in supporting the interviewee and getting my information. So thank you very much for listening, for taking the time to check this out. I figured I'd be a little different today. This week's theme was interviews, so I thought this might be a nice little change of pace. Thanks, and have a great one.